Hello and welcome to my review for Rampage, the brand new Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie, the latest big dumb action movie of 2018. This felt very much in line, to me, with Pacific Rim Uprising, where there's a lot of action, there's a lot of CGI, there's a lot of buildings just getting leveled, and you don't really care that much. I liken it very much to that movie, even though they have very different storylines, but both deal with very fantastical elements where by the end of it you're seeing literally these huge monsters just duking it out in the city, and buildings and stuff are getting destroyed left, right and center. It's based on a 1980s video game called Rampage, which I'm not even that aware of, to be honest, and certainly it doesn't feel like this is really taking much from the story. I think Rampage was about humans who became these mutated monsters, whereas this film is about a genetic editing kind of device that the scientists have created and a big corporation has appropriated, where they'll kind of take all the best kind of elements of, the gene pools of all these different animals and kind of edit them into the DNA of existing animals to make them stronger, faster, bigger, more aggressive, everything like that. And they're kind of testing it in space because it's so dangerous, and the opening of the movie is the space station getting just ripped apart basically, and we see the research landing down on Earth, which is where it infects a particular gorilla, ape, whatever you want to call it, called George, who is this big albino gorilla who is very close to The Rock's character in the film, who I couldn't tell you the name of for the life of me. I saw the movie a few days ago, but that information's already gone straight out of my head, just leaked right out. The Rock, he is obviously some kind of, zoologist. He works with animals and stuff at this zoo. I guess you could call it a zoo. I don't think it even is a zoo, but it's a, one of those kind of facilities, I suppose, where they kind of take care of these animals and stuff. And he has a very close relationship with George. He's ex-military, I think, and he found George during this very traumatic experience and has kind of adopted him and brought him up as his own, basically. And they have a very close relationship. They can do sign language together. And I will say, as much as I kind of, brought this movie down at the beginning of the video, I did really like the relationship between The Rock's character and George, the gorilla, because it felt real to me. You look at The Rock's face, his eyes, when he's looking at nothing, in front of him, and I really buy that he's looking at this gorilla, who's obviously completely computer generated, and so I thought that he really did a great job. I mean, The Rock is always really good at the bare minimum. He knows what he's doing. You look at like the latest Jumanji movie, where he has to kind of play this teenage Jewish kid through the whole film, and he commits to it, and I think that he really has come on leaps and bounds, and clearly now at this point is one of the biggest movie stars in the world. But he always, I think, shows this promise of really good acting. I still haven't seen him give a knockout incredible performance, but I think he has one in him. I think that at some point, maybe soon, we'll be surprised by something he'll pull out of the bag when he stops doing these big action movies, which are still fun in their own right. So the story, there's basically three animals. There's a wolf, a crocodile, and George, who have been infected by this genetic editing thing, and they've become huge, and they all get led to Chicago, where this low-frequency emitter on top of a skyscraper is bringing them in, so that the corporation who are very much invested in this technology and getting these animals so they can get the genetic editing stuff, they're drawing these animals in to get them. Malin Akerman plays this very kind of stock villain. She's the head of this company, and she's got her lackey as well, and they're both so kind of just one-note, flat villain characters, and I like the actors. I forget the guy's name, but he was in a film I saw recently that I really enjoyed him in, but regardless, they're very much just goofy villains. There's not much to them. I like the fact that they had all this ridiculously expensive stuff in their office, including the original Rampage arcade machine. That was a nice little touch. But and then we have Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who to me just seemed to have walked right off the set of The Walking Dead. Even to the way he kind of is just like standing like this on a slant. He's got the Negan thing going on, but without being Negan, and so I just it felt kind of very phoned in. But he's very convincing and enjoyable as an actor, so that was fine. But it just struck me that he really didn't change anything for this role, did he? And I liked where his character went in the film. But I mean, really, by the time you get to the end, and you have a 100-foot gorilla doing a finger in hole joke, And The Rock's like, whoa, whoa, come on, buddy. And then he's like, no, that was really cool. You know, it's just like, what the fuck? I mean, I could see where the ending was going, and it played out like I thought it would, but to kind of, you know, that was kind of a one step too far for me, where I just thought, really? Like, I don't know. And I couldn't help but think about 9/11 at one point, because there's this very elaborate skyscraper collapsing sequence, and, you know, yeah, I don't know, that was something that kind of, I don't know, if you've lived through that, which I guess most of us have, but, you know, obviously I'm getting to the age now where a lot of people weren't even born then or whatever, and are now walking around as almost 20-year-olds, and that's crazy. But, you know, it's just something about that was a little, oof, I don't know. But that's neither here nor there. I don't think it's something you shouldn't go to. I don't think that, you know, but at the same time, it just made me think of that and just took me out of the moment a little bit. Even though I think that is probably the best action sequence of the film, is that skyscraper falling sequence. And I don't know, I think the film had its heart in the right place, but when you get to a point in the third act of the film where you have these 3 huge 100-foot monsters duking it out in the wreckage of several skyscrapers, and you also have The Rock standing there as an active participant in this fight, and he's kind of running around and stuff, it just loses all credibility to the point where it's fun to watch, you can laugh at it, how ridiculous it is, but at the same time, they just don't really feel the stakes or anything. It just is what it is. It's the kind of movie that it is. It isn't trying to be anything more than it is. Overall, it was okay. Just big, dumb fun. That's all I can really use to describe it. Would I watch it again? Probably not. You know, my mind started to wander. It very much is a film where you're just getting from action set piece to action set piece, and, you know, it's just kind of stringing it along and trying to keep you interested, and it didn't really do a great job of that. So, yeah, that's it for me. I wasn't mad that I went to see it, but it's certainly not something I really would have rushed to see if I had known how middle of the road it was going to be. But it is what it is, and obviously to make a lot of money, that's what those kind of movies do. I don't think it's terrible. I enjoyed it more than Pacific Rim Uprising. I cared about the characters just a little bit more, but not that much more. So there we go. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts down below if you have seen Rampage, what you thought of it, and I'll see you in the next video.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans of Carlin into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you, 'cause